Welcome to Love Unleashed. I'm your host, Erin Davis.
Today, I'm meeting Mateen Stewart. He's a comic and wedding officiant, MC, and DJ. So what has he learned from officiating over 90 weddings? And what's he learned from his own marriage to a gorgeous plus-size model? Let's find out. Hi, Mateen Stewart.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, it's really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
This is the first time we're meeting. I've heard a lot about you. You're in the comedy world, right?
Yes, I am.
Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what's up.
So I'm a comedian slash. I have other ventures that I do. So I have a marriage business that I do called Married by Mateen.
Oh, what? That is awesome.
Yeah.
I like the alliteration. That's
it works. Married by Mateen, and
Okay.
I officiate weddings, and I also MC and I DJ as well. So sometimes I do both, where I'll officiate the wedding, and then I'll be the entertainment for the evening, because
Why officiate? Like, what made you want to do this?
So I was like during the pandemic, because I DJ MC weddings
Right.
and stuff, and during the pandemic I had like 18 cancellations.
Oh.
So I was like, man, I need to see if I can make some money. And comedy had kind of dried up.
Yeah.
And so I was on a site called Thumbtack, and I saw that they needed officiants too. And I was like,
Nice.
people pay people to do that? And I was like, okay. So I looked into what it took to become an officiant, and all it took was like $59.99.
Online? You can do it
online, yeah.
Okay.
You sign up, pay your $59.99, you get your welcome packet, and you just essentially, that's it.
I've been wanting to do it because I'm a dating
Yeah.
coach, so I've been like,
Sorry, everybody, technical issue.
oh, our mic?
It's fine. Mike's fine. Sorry, guys.
All right, ready? Well, hello, Mateen Stewart.
Hey, hello.
It's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to Love Unleashed. Thanks for being on the show.
I'm glad to be unleashed on Love Unleashed.
Oh, you're not unleashed yet, but I'm going to get you there by the
Okay.
end of the episode.
All right.
I have never met you before.
No,
but
we've never met.
I've heard that you're in the comedy world.
Yes.
You're doing a lot of stuff. What are you up to now? Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a comedian slash. I think LA is a place where you have to be a
Yes, you have to
slash.
have a slash.
But I also have I deal in love as well. I have a marriage business called Married by Mateen, and
Nice.
I officiate and I MC and I DJ weddings. Yeah.
That's incredible. I try to get people as a dating coach and wing woman like all the way to the altar, and then you just take them over.
Yeah,
This is amazing.
I would love to do that. So I do a lot of weddings where I officiate the wedding, and then I'll go and I'll DJ and MC the wedding as well.
The whole thing, full service.
Yeah,
marriage.
full service, one stop shop, man.
Nice.
Yeah, Married by Mateen is one stop shop. So
how do you become an officiant? Like, why'd you want to do this too?
So I mean, it's pretty easy to become an officiant. All you need is $59.99.
Nice.
You sign.
$59.
Yes. You sign up. They send you your paperwork.
Online?
Yeah, online.
Wow.
You don't have to take a class. You don't have to take
Nothing. Do you have
a
to
quiz.
read something?
They send you materials how to do it, as far as like, these are the things that you need to do to officiate a wedding. And there's so many resources online. Like, you can just find scripts online as far as everything. But I had worked as a MC DJ to supplement my income being out here in Los Angeles. And during the pandemic, I had like 18 cancellations. So I was like, how can I still make money? And I saw on Thumbtack that they needed people to still officiate weddings.
Okay.
So July of 2020.
Needed it. Wow, so a lot of people were getting married.
Yeah, a lot of people were getting married. I mean, it was perfect because a lot of people were like, man, at least I don't have to pay all this money, so I can just go. And so I did a lot of elopements, beach weddings.
Nice.
My first wedding was on the beach. I married this couple at this gazebo in Huntington Beach, and I went down.
Huntington Beach, very nice.
And they're like, how many weddings had you done? I'm like, I've done like so many. I'd never.
They found you on Thumbtack?
On Thumbtack,
And
yeah.
They just,
Yeah,
you had
yeah.
a little profile?
Yeah, I just put I didn't have any reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, and I went down and because you also have to know how to fill out the paperwork. So I Googled that.
Right, you got to make it.
Yeah,
legal. Like, you
because they have
sign
to.
off.
They have to get the marriage license, and then you sign the marriage license. You have to have a witness if it's public. If it's not public, you don't need a witness. So, so I did that, and then it just started taking off.
They write you a review?
Yeah, they write me a review. So I've done I've officiated over like 90 weddings.
What?
Yeah.
Since COVID?
That's
a lot.
Yeah.
What was your first script? Like, I'm dying to know. Like,
So
did you meet them ahead of time, or did
No,
you just go in?
I called them and I talked to them a little bit, and then
Okay.
my first script was like super, just like I googled,
Just went.
yeah, script.
Did you memorize it?
No, so you do it. I used to print it out and read it in a notebook, and now I've moved up in the world. I do it on my tablet now.
Oh, that's
Because now when I officiate and I DJ, I can control all the music from my tablet. I have the script on my tablet. Everything's on my tablet. So I just, technology is wild.
I mean, do you incorporate? You must incorporate your stand-up.
I make some jokes. I make some jokes. I think that's the appeal that a lot of people hire me for, because of the comedic appeal. Because a lot of times people have a wedding officiant and it's just like super to death do you part, and all those rules are like. All those rules
forget about death doing a part,
and like forever and all this other stuff.
That's great.
Forever is a long time, but all those rules were written when people
Do you add that in
died.
there? Forever's a long time.
So I try to make it personal. There are some elements that I use the same, but I always use something about the couple in every script that I use.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, just to make it seem like, oh yeah, I took the time to learn about this couple and
I've gone to so many weddings where that's not even the case.
Yeah, it's just very simple.
Yeah.
I don't like that whole submit stuff and all that other like that old language that was written hundreds and
Good.
hundreds
So
of
you
years
kind of
ago.
modernize it. What's the craziest thing that you've said? Have you been asked to say something?
I mean, I haven't done any like super crazy thing. Like now people are doing like unique things. I had a couple. They did a beer ceremony. So they got married at a brewery, and they took a beer that reminded, like, here's a beer that reminds me of you. Here's a beer that reminds me of you. And when we add them together, they make a completely new taste in beer. So
That's so beautiful.
yeah. And then I've had a couple that did a shot ski.
With the ski. With the little shot glasses. Okay.
Yeah, every couple is different.
You work with a lot of alkies. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yes.
That's what I'm seeing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've done every inclination of couple, every religion, every makeup.
Really?
Yeah.
You've seen so much.
I've seen so much. So many different couples.
Anything crazy ever happened? Something really embarrassing or crazy?
Well, I had a groom pass out at a wedding. He locked his knees and he was so nervous and he fainted and passed out.
That's a cold feet. Or,
I don't know.
I don't know.
And I also I've had brides and grooms like just had to get carried away.
Hyperventilate. Crazy.
Well, no, because after like the party afterwards, they drink too much and they
drink it.
yeah,
DJ,
DJ is
so you see
MC
the
as well
whole
too.
arc of
Yeah,
life.
so most of the time I do both now.
Okay. Do they recognize you? They're like, "Hey, didn't you?"
Yeah, I
officiate?"
always
And
make
now
a joke. I always make a joke and say, "Yeah, I did," because daycare is expensive, so I'm here because
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you are literally full service.
I'm full service. I always make jokes and it's easy.
You make jokes.
Yeah, I
That's
try to
great.
make jokes.
Everything.
I try to make jokes.
Music, comedy.
Same jokes. They kill. The same joke always kills.
Which all right. Well, what is it? You gotta tell
So
me.
when I do this thing where I say, as far as like DJ wise, I go, hey, if you have an iPhone, you can airdrop me a song that you want, and if you have an Android, you can throw it in the trash. I don't know what to do with that. Yeah,
Awesome. I love
that
that.
kills all the time. It's like such a hack joke.
It's so funny, but people love it.
Yeah,
every
love
time.
they love it.
And they're probably hearing it now, and they know you're gonna do it. And
Yeah.
you're just gonna laugh.
So I gotta not tell all my secrets.
I went to a wedding once, and I won't disclose identifying details because she'll probably kill me.
Yeah.
And the guy officiating the wedding, in the middle of it, the ceremony, he said, I'm so sorry, I have to go to the bathroom. Like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
and he disappeared for like 10 minutes. And
That's
then
my nightmare.
They start talking, like the bride gets up there and she's like, okay, everybody, so let's just, let's talk for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then she like turned to the band. Why don't you guys play some music? He was gone for 10 minutes at least. And then he just came back and he was like, okay. And we were all like,
Was he a family member, a relative, or?
he was a rabbi.
Oh, he was a rabbi. Okay, he was like.
He felt even worse.
Yeah, he
was
had
like,
some.
this has never happened to me before. Anyways, okay, and we all just kind of like knew he took off, like took off running to the
he had to,
bathroom. We all
yeah.
just tried to stay like really.
That's my nightmare.
And so that's what
my
you're
nightmare,
scared. I was
yeah.
gonna say, have you flubbed before?
I mean, of course, flubbed a little bit. There was one wedding, I kept calling because I had my script, and I forgot to replace the name. So I kept calling the groom Christian, and his name was Mark or something.
Oh, it was
and he finally was like,
close.
I'm not Christian. I was like, I'm so
no.
sorry. That was last week, guys. I'm sorry. But that's the only like major flub up I had. Yeah, I mean, there was, as an officiant, I've never missed a gig. I was late to a gig once when I was
LA
DJing.
traffic. I was gonna say.
I was in Cincinnati. I was going to San Diego.
Okay.
And I missed the ceremony.
Completely?
Yeah.
What did they do?
They had a system there at the place. So luckily they had a system that they could just play the 3 songs. But I was supposed to DJ the ceremony and I didn't.
Oh,
I
DJ,
didn't make,
okay.
yeah,
I was going to say, like, if you were officiant, they never married. And now
No,
they're
yeah,
broken up.
I'm
'Cause if
pretty
you-
good.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at like finding a
Yeah.
replacement if I have. I have a
Okay.
couple guys that
That you
I've
trust?
trained. Yeah.
And they had $59.99 to also be.
Yeah. So I got them all. I took care of them as far as getting their stuff. And if I need a backup or if I'm double booked anytime, I just like, hey, you guys want to do this?
So you officiate and then you like change clothes and you become a DJ?
No, I
Do you have,
usually
like, a
keep the
different
same clothes
persona?
on.
Oh, same clothes. You just-
Well, I'll change my shoes like Mr. Rogers.
And you use it all on the tablet? Do you dance too? You get people out on the floor?
I used to be more active. No, I don't do that as much because a lot of people don't really want that as much because I do have a background in like that kind of like party, like motivator. I used to do a lot of bar mitzvahs when I was like younger. When I first
that
moved
is
in.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's really
I used to
fun.
do a lot of bar mitzvahs. I won't do them anymore. I just won't.
Why? You're just like
they're just, I don't know, it's a little different. Like the kids are
kids.
different.
They're not even kids anymore.
Yeah, they're like
13-year-olds.
Yeah,
are
I'm like,
let's-
I'm not, and I refuse to play certain songs, and like the moms would come over like, you can play the clean version. I'm like, there's no clean version of
are you
WAP.
serious?
Like I'm not gonna play WAP while these 13-year-olds are dancing to WAP, and like these kids are trying to. I did one, and they wanted to hear like that Kendrick Lamar song, and I'm like, I'm not about to hear these kids. And they're all gonna say the N-word, and I'm gonna be upset, and I'm gonna be so mad. It's such a different
It is
kind of kid. But like when I was doing them 20 years ago, it's just like, oh, it's fun. And the kids are having fun. They want to play the games and they get the prizes. And now it's just like, oh, what are you giving away? Ugh, I'm not. I don't
like-
want- yeah,
like
yeah,
dirty
yeah,
dancing
yeah,
on the
yeah.
Oh god.
Yes, I really don't do those anymore. But
That's my bar mitzvah was like the Macarena. We had like electric
Yeah.
slide and the Macarena.
Yeah.
Mambo number 5 was my requested song.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such an innocent time.
it was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
And like all the dancing, like it was very like old school, like hands on the shoulders.
Okay,
like
yeah,
1
yeah.
foot of space. Like the parents are all watching.
But now it's just like groups, they get together and they just sing the songs together and they're like not really interacting. And then you have
No.
like, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't do them anymore.
Oh, so you don't do it. All right. So now it's mainly weddings.
Mainly
Can you
weddings.
Predict. So you said you're also in the the love business in other ways too.
Yeah.
Can you predict which couples are going to make it or not? Like I'm pretty good at
I'm
kinda
pretty
getting
good
initial
at
vibes.
doing that. I mean, I haven't kept in contact with enough couples to know, but I did a couple that were friends of mine,
Yeah.
and I kind of knew it wasn't.
Oh, they
Yeah,
you knew.
I
when you
kinda
were-
knew.
But you have to go forward.
I did.
You've got
I did.
to. Yeah,
I
we
went
all
out
do.
there, and it didn't last long at all.
Oh
It
no.
was like it didn't last long at all.
What does that mean for you as like an officiant? Do you have to?
No, I don't
are
do
you
nothing.
involved in
No.
annulments
Hey,
or
once
divorce? Oh,
once I turn in that paperwork,
you're only part of the happiness.
yeah.
And then they come to me for the mediation
Yeah.
and the like save
I-
my marriage, but you do the fun stuff.
And I do stuff.
Okay.
I do premarital stuff with some couples because that is
Okay.
an option that I do. Because I went and got all my paperwork and I did some classes and got some certificates and all that stuff. And I'm pretty good at the love part of love.
Yeah.
I was really good on the apps too when I was
Oh,
single.
were you?
I was
Wait,
really good.
So you're not single now. You're
No,
married.
yes,
yourself?
yes. I have a significant other and we have a 3-year-old.
Oh, that's congrats.
But
That's
and it's so
awesome.
funny. We met in person.
Oh wow! Can you believe that?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. We met in
How'd
person.
you meet? How'd you meet? How long you been
So
together?
we've been together 6 years and
Nice.
almost 7, and I was coming to my friend's birthday party and it was a line, and I was like, I don't.
Lying to your friend's birthday.
Yeah, it was
party?
like he was.
Cool guy.
He's like, and I was like, I'm not. I'm not gonna wait in this line. I just don't want to wait in this line. And I talked to the guy at the door, and I was like, "Yo, bro, I'm not trying to wait in this line. It's just me." He was like, "It's just you." I'm like, "Yeah, just let me in." He's like, "All right, come in." It's like, yeah, he's like,
I'm married by Mateen.
Yeah. This is pre-married by Mateen days.
Okay.
So he let me in, and I wasn't really having a good time. And then I see all these like big, tall girls like over in the corner. I was like, "Who are these? Who are these Amazon?" Yeah, they're like, like a
tall women.
big Amazons over there. And I'm like, "Who are these women over there?" So I go over and talk to him, and I was having a stoplight party, and I invited them to my stoplight party that weekend. And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, you wear green if you're single, you wear red if you're not, you wear yellow if you're in between, white if you DTF."
I've had one of those before. I'm glad you,
White if you DTF, and black if you're dead inside.
Oh my God, it's so great.
And
that's so great.
yeah,
I didn't know about the dead inside.
But that was like my.
I like that.
That's our twist.
Okay.
So I wore white, black, and green to that party.
Wow, that is hilarious. Okay.
And we had cups associated with it. What? So you have the cup associated with who you are as well too.
That is, you took it to another.
It was
level.
a great party.
Okay, we need to host.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to co-host.
Yes, it was a great party.
Okay, this is great.
So I invited them, and they were like, no, whatever. I'm like, because I had a nice house, so it's like, that was my thing. I just wanted to get, he has hosting parties. So the girls, they weren't like, they were just like, I was like, "Do you guys follow me on Instagram?" And they were like, "What?" I'm like, "You guys follow me on Instagram." And then I followed them, and I was like, they had a lot of followers. Like, who are y'all? Like,
it was a group of women?
Yeah, so they all were plus size models.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah.
And they're all friends and all plus size
models?
Yeah,
they all were hanging out, having out, so all these plus size models. So
cool.
I started talking to her. I saw her, and her friend was like, "That's my friend." I'm like, "Oh," so I started talking to her, and I asked her, I was like, "When's the last good date you've been on?" And she goes, "What?" She goes,
that was your opening line.
Yeah, I was like, when's the last good date you've been on? And she was like, "Oh, it's been a while." I go, "Oh, well, I'll take you on Wednesday." And she said, "Huh? Maybe."
Oh, nice.
She's like, "Maybe." And I was like, "Well, maybe is a no that procrastinates." So.
What?
Awesome. So I'm gonna take you on Wednesday.
Take notes, everybody.
And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Give me. Here's my number. Let me know you made it home safely."
Amazing, gentlemen.
And because my thing is, I always wanted to give women the opportunity to contact me first, because as I would always do that sometimes, because sometimes it can be like, as a man. So if she contacted me first, I was like, all right, well, she's interested. So I talked to her. That was a Saturday. And then Sunday, I was DJing my friend's wedding. And that was it was fun, but I was dealing with a difficult mother-in-law. So my friend's mother-in-law was very difficult. Okay. And my friend hired me to be the DJ, and it was good. And then the mother-in-law was very we need to play this music, and I had these dancers, and my friend was like, "Don't play it. No more. We done. No more of these dancers." And then she went off on me. The mother-in-law went off on me and called me "You're not a friend to my son," or whatever.
Gosh, what a day.
And I was like, "I'm just doing what my friend told me to do, so I'm not."
You get put in on the wedding drama.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, we went on a date that Wednesday, okay. And I let her know, I was like, "Hey, I don't have a car right now. Just letting you know, because I got in a car accident. I don't have a car right now."
I heard a car in LA is a thing.
You need to have a car. Yeah.
What did she say when you're like?
She was like, "Oh, okay," and I was like, "Well, I'll get you an Uber to the restaurant."
Gentlemen.
And I was like, she's like, "Well, I'm gonna give you." I was like, "Well, you have to give me your address for that." But I go, "Don't worry, I'm safe. I have a website." And so we caught an Uber, and then we went to dinner, and I was like, "Hey, well, I have a show that I forgot about. If you don't mind, we can go to the show."
Did you really forget about it?
I did forget about it.
Oh, wow. Okay, I've heard that one.
It was on the 14th.
Okay.
Because I was supposed to do a Valentine's Day, and then the 14th was the same day in March. So I won't forget this ever. And so, we went to the dinner was good. Then we walked to my show, and I was like, "Well, if you have to see me eventually, because if you don't think I'm funny, it's never going to work out." And so, we went to my show. I ended up having a good set because the other comedians were pretty bad.
That is pressure.
It is. I know, but
what if you bombed?
Then I wouldn't have worked out if she didn't think I was funny. If you don't think I'm funny. But
okay.
Then we went out dancing with.
Wow, this is a big first date. This is like
so I
getting
used to
a lot
like
out.
I used to like to plan multiple things, especially if I liked a girl. And I tell people I make a joke now is like, if you go to multiple locations on a date, that's a different date.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
I would always
nice. So
joke
you
it's
guys
like
had 3
we went
dates.
yeah. So like if she wouldn't have to feel guilty if she had sex with me the first date because we went to 3
You tell her it's the
locations.
third date. That's so sweet. I like the way you say, no is a maybe, procrastinate, like maybe's a no. Like you have all these
Yeah, so
beautiful
we
framing the narrative.
So we went out, and then I was like, oh, I can get you an Uber back. So then I went back to her place, and
You
then I got out. It started raining, and then she was like, and then I got to the lobby, and then she was like, oh, train stops here.
Oh, she did. Good girl. Nice. Did
But it
she
started
stick
raining.
to her guns?
Yeah,
Did she
and then
stick-
I Ubered home and whatever, and
really proud of her.
yeah. And so then we had a couple other dates, and then
We had 3 dates in one night.
I know. But then we.
And it's raining?
Yeah,
oh,
we
no.
we like dated for like 8 months, and then Thanksgiving came around, and it was just a thing where it's like, oh, where's so when you gonna go to Thanksgiving with my family? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, how should I introduce you? And I was like,
Ooh.
oh, well, yeah, I'm your boyfriend.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But 8 months later?
Yeah, but we never had like
You never
that.
had that
talk. 'Cause
talk.
it's always weird to have. And
Yeah.
like I used to
Yeah.
be a person that rushed into a lot of things, and then I got into something, and then it was just a lot of like ambiguity. Because I feel like a lot of times as adults we don't communicate things sometimes.
Of course.
And some people get mad at things. Because I remember there was this one woman. She was like, "Are you?" We had dated for like a couple months. And she's like, "Are you having sex with other people?" And I was like, "I have." Like,
Yeah, that's the way she
I was like,
brings
I was
it
like,
up,
yeah. I was
right?
like, why? Like, you said you just got out of a relationship. You said you don't want a relationship, and you were mad when I'm being honest with you like that.
yeah.
But in this case, it was just like a lot of times I talk to my male friends about this. They get upset with women where they're like, when a woman is like, where's this going? Like, what is this? Like, what are we? And he's like, why are you bringing that up? I'm like, dude, she has a toothbrush at your house.
Yeah.
Like, she sleeps in your bed. You wake up with her. Why would you be mad that she is assuming things? And I call it's the gardening. It's a gardening thing. I call it gardener prophecy.
Okay.
Right? So it's
okay.
like,
Gardener prophecy?
yeah.
All
So
right,
like
what
not
is
prophecy.
that?
Maybe it's like principle,
Okay.
gardener
Okay,
principle. Yeah. So I say, if you had a guy that came over your house for 90 days and he cut your grass, he mowed your lawn, he cut the hedges, he took the trash out, and then at the end of the
I like that
yeah
guy. Can
yeah
you give me
yeah
his
at
information,
the
please?
end of,
Okay,
yeah
yeah.
and then 90 days you'll be like, hey man, you're a really good gardener. He can't be like, whoa, I'm not the gardener.
That's hilarious.
I am not the gardener. I'm like, but you're doing gardener things, so you can't
For
be
90
mad.
days,
Yeah,
right,
you
right.
can't be mad if someone thinks you're the gardener if you're doing gardener things. So you can't
For a
be
certain amount of
yeah,
time.
you can't
You
be mad
also
if
picked
this
a
person
time.
thinks that you're her boyfriend if you're doing boyfriend things. So or girlfriend things.
Why do you think they're scared of that?
I think because a lot of times people are afraid to commit to one thing, or they get
Yeah.
they just. I think a lot of times people stay single because they think there's something better out there.
Of course.
They think that's what the thing. That's what it's like. Oh, you think there's something better out there.
And I get that up to a point, but I feel like once we've lived enough life,
Yes.
like I do think we got to have experiences. You know, this is always up for debate. Like some people say, well, I don't want to marry so young because I need to
Yeah.
still learn about myself, see what's out there. But then I've met people where they always think something's better out there. They could be 60, 70. They're still waiting.
Yeah, I saw something today. Like one in 4 people will never will die single. Like will never be involved with anybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a different time. It's more expensive to have children. It's more.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, there's a lot of like situations where people stay in relationships because it's living situations, because it's cheaper to
Right.
live together. But I mean, for me, I tell a lot of the people that my friends that are looking for partners, you have to know what you're looking for to know what you want. So like if you know what you want, it's easier to find. So like I say 5 non-negotiables. That's a good start
Oh,
to say,
nice.
where are the 5 things that you know that you can't deal with? Because if you don't have that, you're never going to be happy. And for me, I've been in situations with women before where it's like, oh, they don't fully support what I do. They don't really get what I do. And I remember we planned a trip, Eric and I planned a trip like 6 months in
Nice.
to go to Japan the following year.
Nice.
She
Okay.
goes, this is a big commitment. I go,
Yeah.
well, it's 6 months from now. Like we either gonna
I love that.
go or
That's-
we're just gonna,
love
you know, we're gonna go. And we went to Japan.
went to Japan.
Yeah, and we had a long trip, and I was over there doing comedy. And
How long were you there? How long was the
we
trip?
were there for a week, and it took
Okay.
us like 16 hours. It was a
Great.
long
I was
day.
gonna say, yeah,
It was a
in
long
the time
day, and
difference
we
and all
landed, and the guy that brought me there, he was like, "Hey, there's an open mic tonight. I know you just landed, but there's an open mic, and the comics would really like appreciate if you came to the open mic." And I was like, "We just landed, man. I don't gotta run this, like talk to her about it."
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, because I had that trauma of previous relationships where I knew it was like, why would we go to an open mic? I need to eat. I need to this.
They
I'm
didn't
tired.
support
Yeah.
your
So
career and think-
I told her, I was like, hey, you mind if we go to this open mic? She goes, yeah. Why wouldn't we go to the open mic? You're in Japan. Like, why? Yeah, of course you want to go. Let's go
That's
to the
so
open mic."
cool.
And I
Oh,
was like,
that's so
this,
cool.
and
So
I was
you were
like,
like,
I was sold. That sold it for me. I was like, this is.
and jet lag. You know
Yeah,
how many
yeah,
crazy
yeah, yeah,
peeps
yeah,
after
yeah,
doing
yeah,
that flight are
yeah,
like,
yeah.
get away from me. Oh, that's awesome.
And
She's
so,
very cool.
yeah, she's good in that. And like, I've been in situations where I say I needed someone that I could leave at a party.
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing for me. Where like, you know, especially being a host to a lot of things and like
Yeah.
being out and having
Well,
friends.
she's also a plus size model. She must be beautiful.
Yeah, she is beautiful. She is beautiful.
Because like you got to leave her alone at a party. She could get snatched.
Yeah,
up.
no, she's not going nowhere.
I mean, this
But,
is when you trust her. But what's it like even dating a plus size model?
Well,
She's
for me,
beautiful.
it's like, this is the first time I've dated someone that was more popular than me, and so that was a bonus to
You
me.
dated less popular.
Yeah, less popular.
Okay,
Yeah. So like that was another thing when I saw her. She was like, "You didn't ask me for my number till you saw my Instagram." I was like, "Ah, baby." But even in Japan,
Yeah.
she got recognized in Japan. That was weird to me. Like this late, I did my show in Tokyo. I had a really good show, and then afterwards, you know, people come in like buy merchandise
I'm
and
a
they talk.
star.
Yeah.
Come on,
And this
guys.
lady came and she walked right past me, and she goes, "Oh my God, me and my sister love you." And to Erica, and I was like, God
You're like,
damn it.
"Hey,
Yeah,
I
I know. Yeah.
No.
But I never was intimidated by anything like that. And there's two personas. There's like Erica, the plus size model, and then
Yeah,
there's like Erica
course.
at home. So yeah, I never had that issues. And there was another thing I think a lot of times people don't understand about themselves. So I always knew that I could not be the voice of reason in a relationship.
Okay.
Like I can't be the more responsible person.
Okay.
And I've dated women where I had to.
I like that you're owning it.
Yeah,
Though, to say that out
yeah,
loud.
because I've dated women where like I had to be the voice of reason, and I was like, no, we don't. If I'm saying no to something, like this is too much, we are not going down the right
So
path.
you need her to kind of keep that.
Yeah,
that
there's a
going.
balance there. There is
Okay.
definitely a balance, I feel. And when we talk about people wanting more and like seeking more, and I feel like a lot of times people think they're going to find 100%. You're never going to get 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think 80 is a good number.
So I'm curious, speaking of 80, what were your 5 non-negotiables? And did she only get 4 of the 5?
No.
Was
She
it
has all
80%?
of them. I mean, like I smoke, non-smoker.
Oh, you were a non-smoker?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's-
cigarettes.
Okay. Cigarette, but you're like, all right, we'll
I
vape and weed.
couldn't be a sober person either.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I know me. I know I can't be. Leave at a
And you're
party.
officiating shot ski weddings
know,
and
I
breweries.
know.
Like, she's got to be able to be okay with this. Okay, so that's 2.
Yeah, and they
Oh, be alone at a party, number 3.
yeah,
Right.
and wanted children.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, and she did, for
Yeah,
sure.
she
And then
did.
what was 5? You
That's
remember?
5. So leave at a party, no smoker, no non-sober, wanted children, and what was the other one?
Yeah, what's 5?
Fuck, what was my 5th one?
Oh, yeah, I think you said
Oh,
like,
thought I was funny.
Oh, I was just gonna say
Yeah,
supporting
yeah,
your
yeah,
career.
yeah,
I think you said.
yeah,
So that was,
supportive.
think you're funny is the same thing, because then she's like, right. She's gonna know you're in the
Fully
right field.
supported what I did. So that was
Yeah, that goes together because
Yeah.
she has to think you're funny.
Yeah,
in order
to support
support
what I
you
do. Yeah,
For the comment.
yeah,
Oh, I know
yeah,
what that's like.
yeah.
That's so.
she still laughs at my jokes that she's heard.
really?
Yeah, and she was like, I don't know why I laugh at them because they're really good jokes.
Even the Android one.
Yeah, she laughs at that one.
She laughs.
Yeah.
Oh, so what were her non-negotiables? Did she
I don't know
tell
her
you, like-
non-negotiables, but I think she had a lot of trauma with other relationships and like,
Yeah.
and the car thing too. She was like, I had issues with like boyfriends latching on to things and like, and then she had a guy that like just like used her car a lot, and she was like, I don't know why she was like, for some reason I got past that with you, And I was like, wow, you had car trauma, and then you went out with me, and I didn't have a car.
You didn't have a car.
And I
Maybe she
didn't
was
have a
like,
car
you
at the
can't
time.
have car trauma because he doesn't have one.
Yeah, but I didn't have a car, so it's like
So, is
that's the
that-
kind of thing. Yeah, so I got past that. You know,
Yeah.
it was I guess it was my charm. So
No, it's beautiful that like you were ready to commit to her. So you're saying that people are having trouble committing, but you met her and like, did you just know? Why weren't you scared to commit?
I mean, it was just a thing where I had so much trauma from
did too. So all right, you guys
previous
are coming from
relationships.
trauma.
So like because I was with a woman where I was a secret to her family for 5 years. And
5?
Yeah.
What? Why?
Because she's Indian, and in India, once you go black, they send you back to India.
So once you go black, you never go.
They send you back to India.
go back. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so I dealt with a lot of
I'm
that.
sorry.
I
That's
dealt with a
hard.
lot of that, and so like we went through a lot of issues with that situation where it was like we lived together. Her parents didn't know. Her dad still doesn't know. You know, I don't even know if he's
So
alive or not. But like, you know, I finally met the mom. I met the sister. I met the brother, and you know, we had a lot of issues. And from that, where it was like I'd never felt good enough. So I did seek other avenues, you know, other places. So we did some couples therapy, and then I remember the therapist was like, "Hey, have you ever thought what it's like to be Mateen?" She said that to her, and she goes, "No," and I go, "Wow."
Wow, never in 5
I've
years.
like, and I've never thought. I
you
never.
didn't say anything. You
But
didn't.
I was
say,
like, I was like, well, I never thought what it was like to be me.
Oh.
Because I never, because it was just
you didn't communicate about it.
no, because it was just what I lived in. So it was just like whatever this was what it was. So like,
Oh, that's
you know,
rough.
moving out when our parents came, or like can't post certain things on the internet, or you know, continuing to be a vegetarian even though I really didn't want to at the time. Yeah. So there was a lot of issues that came with that, but I think in the back of my mind, I never wanted her parents to be like, "I told you so," because they had such a negative outlook of what it was to be black. Her mom would say some of the most racist things, and it was just like, "Oh, well, this is just
Confirmation bias. So
Yeah,
she's already kind of made
yeah,
up
yeah,
her
yeah, yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
would
yeah,
rather
yeah.
live in this safe
Yeah.
place of not knowing
yeah."
and provide her
And I
any
probably
confirmation, right?
shouldn't have.
Ugh, yeah.
I probably shouldn't have.
cared.
Well, I should have ended it a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But some of my pride was like, but then I was doing a lot of self-sabotaging with stuff like.
So you're fighting with yourself. You knew you shouldn't have been.
Yeah. I knew.
That's common.
Yeah.
That's common.
It is.
My mom hid my dad for like 5 years while he converted to Judaism.
Okay.
In that time. She was in her 20s, and her sisters were already married off, and her parents were Holocaust survivors. And like her older sisters married nice Jewish boys.
Okay.
And then she was like, oh, here she is, the youngest child, meeting this great fellow, falling in love with a man who's not Jewish. And the same thing. And I don't know how he dealt with it either, but that's so hard to feel.
Yeah, and I was coming from a place where like my mom and my dad really was, but my mom was. I mean, I think a lot of cultures have this thing where like they want people to stick together, like you stick with your own. And my mom, you know, she was like, you know, you need to marry a black woman, you need to make sure you marry a black woman.
What did they say? Yeah.
And I mean, and then after a while, it was just like, well, if you're happy, you know, I'm fine with it as long as you're happy. And you know, my mom came down, met her, and like she was, you know, my mom gave us money to put away for a wedding and shit like that.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and I was
So
like,
you see the difference when a
yeah,
family's
yeah.
like,
And then she would my sister and her husband at the time would visit, and then like she would just like say the most judgmental shit about, and I'm like, dude, I'm putting up with all this shit, and your dad doesn't even know I exist.
oh,
Yeah, so yeah, kudos.
5 years
yeah,
you lived with that.
Yeah.
Do we know where she is now? Did she marry?
I don't know where she is now.
Indian guy?
It was I don't know. My friend had sent me he was on Bumble maybe like 6 months ago. He saw her picture on Bumble.
Oh, she ain't married.
Yeah, she's not married now.
Oh, it's the same
You
stuff.
know, yeah, and I mean, I reached out to try to like, because we had some financial things that she felt like I owed her some more money or whatever, and so I let her know, my mom passed away in 2020, and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know my mom passed away, and like, nothing. And because her friend, and I knew she knew because her friend had reached out to me and was like, I feel so bad for you, like, you know, I'm thinking about you, me and my family, and I reached out, I was like, hey, you know, my mom passed away, I want to make sure, like, you know, you say I owe you this money. I'll give you whatever you say I owe you. Just as declare whatever we have to be cool and nothing. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Have you dated every race? Have you?
I've dated
gravitated?
I've dated a myriad of races. So then like I went from her, and then I
Yeah.
dated another girl for like almost a year, and that was
Okay.
long distance.
Okay.
And that was another thing. Was like, oh, I was trying to force it to work, and it wasn't working. Long distance wasn't working. But yeah,
Distance is hard.
it is.
Yeah.
She lived in Oakland, so
Okay.
it wasn't that bad. But I was the one that was making the
yeah.
efforts to get up there. And she's like, oh, I don't want to come to LA.
I just drove to Oakland
I
last
hate
week
LA.
for the
I
first
hate
time.
LA. I hate LA. And I was like, why do you hate LA? I'm like, come down. I have a pool at my house. You know, like.
Did she ever make the effort?
She
to come
did.
down?
She did make the
Okay,
effort. But
okay.
none of my friends were into her at all, really. They were just like, this girl's kind of mean. And I'm like, why didn't you guys tell me this while we were together? Like, why are you telling me this now?
But at least it was only a year. So
Yeah, it
you
was like
went
11
no
months.
more 5-year type things.
No, it was only 11 months, and we went on vacation, and I knew it was over when we went on vacation because, like, we didn't have
Is
sex
this
at
what
all.
I believe in that? You didn't have sex at all on a vacation?
Once. It was like once, and that was like I came up with this
It was like
equation.
forced.
Yeah, I came up with
Oh.
this equation for vacation sex. It's,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
1 per day plus 2. That's
I
that-
love all of your.
Yeah.
We need to like write them 1 per day
plus
plus 2.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
yeah.
and you guys like, what kind of
Once.
vacation was this?
We're in Tulum, and then yeah, and we went with another couple. And this is what I tell people: never go on a vacation
Yeah.
with another couple if you aren't friends with a couple. So they were friends, and I was the outsider, and so like I was always outvoted because I was like the outsider, and the guy's gonna, he's gonna go with his wife, and then the wife and my girlfriend at the time were friends.
just-
So I was like outvoted on everything. They didn't want to do nothing. I was like, man, this shit.
That was like
awful.
a White Lotus season
Yeah.
2. The 2 couples at the beach. Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
Don't go on a couple's vacation unless everyone's friends.
Well, I heard Tulum, the wind is out of control, so you don't want to have like sandy beach sex.
Yeah,
it gets in your eyeball
Exactly.
and
It
all
was
this
fine.
stuff.
I liked
One
it.
time on a trip?
Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta end it.
You gotta get out of it.
On a vacation. I'm
On a
like, what kind of
vacation,
vacation was
yeah.
this? Because, like, you could have
It was
gone
a beach
on a rough
vacation.
I know, that's
yeah,
unacceptable.
yeah. We were at a beach and like we was eating.
Was it like this, like, fizzle out sex where you're like, you can tell there's
Yeah,
nothing
it was like
left?
nothing.
Or
It was like
we're,
nothing.
checking
Yeah,
in.
it was like very robotic.
Oh God, yeah, it's over.
And I was
I
like-
think trips are huge. Like you said, the Japan trip.
Yeah.
You said Tulum. Like, don't they say a lot? Like it elevated you with your
Yeah.
wife, like with Erica,
You got-
right?
you gotta-
And then it can show you when
You
it's
gotta
the end
be able to
too.
travel. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Travel is
I think
big.
it's huge. I
Yeah.
got stranded in West Virginia with my boyfriend for like 2 or 3 weeks. West Virginia's the middle of nowhere, and
Oh,
there
I
was
know
like
West
no
Virginia,
way
yeah.
out. And to me, you find out a lot about somebody when you're in a place where you like don't have anything to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
do. So like we made activities. Like I never knew I'd go like cave searching, and we
Okay.
found a corn maze, and we went into some place called the Greenbrier and did like a bunker tour. Like,
Where-
we
where in,
really,
West
like,
Virginia?
channeled it. Outside of Leesburg.
Okay.
And I thought it was beautiful. We went to a creepy farm that wasn't really open to the public, but they let us come play with the
Okay.
animals, and it
Okay.
ended like really freaky. Like I'm surprised we survived it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the animals went berserk and like tried to kill us, and it was like straight out of a horror movie. But if you survive those things, they're like the most bonding.
Yeah.
Like West Virginia is now my favorite state
Oh,
in
really?
the United States.
And you're
'Cause, like
you're
my
probably
memories there.
the only person that would think that.
Yeah, well, I've only visited 2 No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's the
I'm
worst
coming
place.
From, it was voted like worst state in
Yeah,
America.
they're like the poorest state.
The poorest.
It's pretty.
It's
yeah.
so beautiful. I want to plug it because like it is actually really beautiful. So I think couples should be like stuck there to make
West
the most
Virginia,
of it.
yeah.
And let's bring it back again.
You
know?
didn't hang around the methy parts then.
Oh, definitely not the.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not
There's
the
a lot of
methy
methy parts.
Oh, they're method. Well, there's a lot of toothless parts.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
guessing there's
Mountaineer-
more,
mountain people.
Dew,
Yeah.
mountain people. They call out the Mountain Dew thing.
The incest
Oh, for
family's there, too.
trips. I love that you've done Japan, Tulum, any other
we
crazy
went
trip
to-
stories with.
We went to China in 2019, Erica and I. So we did
Wow, you're hitting up Asia. I
we
like
did
this.
Japan, then we did China, and I from Japan, the guy was like, "You want to do China?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do China." I told her I want to do China.
And she's gung ho.
And she was like, "No, for this." She was like, "Oh, I'm coming too." And I was like,
Awesome.
"I was like, okay, I
love
guess."
it.
I didn't even think about, but yeah. So we did. We were there 2019. November, December. So we were there right before. Yeah, we were there right.
In China. So you're patient zero. You guys brought.
Yeah,
it
we
back,
probably
right?
did.
Yeah, you probably
Yeah, we were.
too.
We got back December 4th, 2019.
Oh God, I'm glad you went when you
Yeah,
did.
yeah, and we
honestly.
did 6 cities there, and we had a,
Wuhan, yeah.
no, we didn't go to Wuhan. We did not go to Wuhan. Wuhan was not on the
Made a
docket.
trip to a lab.
I
You know,
know.
just okay.
It's like eating COVID, but yeah, it was good. China was good. It was another like trip that we had a good, we had a good time.
She
on.
sounds awesome as a
Yeah.
traveler. Do you know how many people? I don't even travel with women.
Yeah.
Okay, like my female friends, I don't even travel because they're like, oh, my hair, it's like humid outside.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
can we have some AC? Like, you got to be able to like
Yeah,
immerse yourself in other
we're good
cultures.
travelers. We're starting to get the hang of it. I mean, and now we're trying to learn everything with having a kid.
Yeah, that's a big adjustment too.
Yeah. So now we buy the whole row, because we're large people. We're both over six. She's like 6 feet 6'1". I'm 6'3", and so we take up a lot of space. So we make sure we buy the whole
Oh,
row.
so the baby was born like
Yeah, my daughter's like
looking
she's
like a 4-year-old,
she's
just came straight
yeah
out.
yeah. She was not that big when she was born, but she's pretty.
She grew fast.
Yeah,
huh?
like she's not even 3 yet, and people like, she 4 or 5? I'm like, nah, she's not even 3 yet.
How's it changed your relationship having a kid?
I mean, it has given us like insight, because like when you're in love with somebody, you love that person, but then when another person that you guys created come
Right.
in, it makes the love, like I've never, like seeing her pregnant never made me love her more.
Oh,
Because it's just like this
That's
thing's like I
beautiful, yeah.
created this human being with this other human being, and especially
that you love, like that's
especially
yeah.
since like losing my mom and then a year later having a baby, and it was just like it was a lot of
That's your mom
emotion.
in there too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like beautiful.
So our due date was like the same day my mom passed away, and so we named my daughter Jamie after my mother, and then we found out that Jamie means supplanter, which means to be replaced after death. Wow. Yeah. So, and it also being a comedian, it gave me a way to speak out, because a lot of times when you go through grief, you hold that shit in a lot of times. So for me to be a comic, to be able to talk about these things, and so I have a joke where I say, when I found out that Jamie meant supplanter, I looked at my daughter and I was like, did you kill my mother?
Oh,
Like,
that's great.
you know what I'm saying?
So she's giving you an outlet
Yeah.
to find humor in
Yeah,
grief,
it
right?
gave me an outlet. So it was just like this whole, like, losing the most important person in my life to gain the most important person in my life. That actually.
But they're connected too.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
most
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
thing. It's like your mom's blood's
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
you know?
she's there somewhere, because that's why I think my daughter's giving me such a hard time right now. So
Oh, that's a tough age. 3
Yeah.
is they're everywhere, right?
my friend
She's
said like the
"Ooh."
terrible twos are when they realize that they've been reincarnated and they're freaking out because they
Right.
don't know what's going on.
So is 3? Is she getting out of it?
No, she's almost 3 in September, but she's not. No, we're still there. We're still in these terrible twos. So like, just we're trying to navigate.
How's the marriage going? Are you guys still
Everything's
finding
good. Yeah, we're
time
still
to-
good. We're trying to find
you
time.
guys
I mean, there's
date
some
night and
ebbs
intimacy?
and flows, and there's we try to go out and do things, because I mean, for me, being a comedian and my schedule is
Yeah,
so
your hours. Are
so
you
hectic.
late? You have late shows?
Late
too?
nights.
Yeah.
Late nights. And everything is dates. So we have a calendar. We started that pretty early, having a calendar
Oh,
as far as like
you're
keeping
such
up.
a good little
'Cause-
organized family.
Yeah, because everything is dates. So like we need to know what's
When
going
where
on.
you were, and
yeah,
is
like
she still working as
yeah,
a
she's
model
still working.
too?
Yeah, she's still
Okay.
working. So like, it's like, oh well, I have to go to New York for these 4 days. What do we have to do to make?
And you
sure?
guys step in and support each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. Like
That's
this morning, I had to, I'm like, oh, I'll take the baby to daycare because I got to come do this podcast.
Good. I want to thank her. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Erin,
yeah,
for
yeah,
letting
yeah.
You, letting you free.
And she had to
Yeah.
do some paperwork the last couple of days for some stuff, so she was up. And yeah, it's just a balance. And I mean, it's not perfect,
Yeah.
but I mean, we have a good place where we're like trying to like make the best of what we have as far as like communicating the issues that we have, and like I think that's where a lot of couples have issues, where they don't communicate things and they just
Yeah.
let it sit. And they let it sit, and then it becomes.
Yeah, it's that
like-
Gardner principle you
yeah,
said. So you're
yeah.
saying like your friends are wondering why these women
Mhm.
are saying, are you sleeping with other people?
Yeah, yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, you have to constantly communicate so
yeah.
that you don't get blindsided,
Yeah.
right? So you guys are you're keeping that up.
Yeah, and we're trying to like find like a good midpoint as far as like, because when you have two different people, they're raised two different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you got to try
and
to.
you both have trauma. You were
Yeah.
saying both of you are coming to the table
Yeah,
with
we have all our
baggage and your.
like parental baggage and like others. So now we're trying to like navigate to not give the kid the trauma that we went through.
Of course, that's every parent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because like we don't know. There's no handbook. There's no handbook to be like there. There are handbooks, but none of that shit. Like that
You
shit
can
goes
read
out
them,
the.
but it's you still got to fly.
Yeah, because we used to be like,
That's
our
your
kid's not
chances.
gonna have a tablet when we go.
course.
Like,
Oh,
you know,
everybody
yeah,
does.
it's like,
No
here, take the
screen
fucking,
time.
take it, then take it. All right, just
No
watch.
screen time.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
parent tells me like, I don't negotiate with your kid, and then all of a sudden the kid turns like 3, and they're
Yes.
like, we're negotiating all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
5 minutes of screen time if they eat all their food.
Yeah, people like don't negotiate with terrorists. So that's
No,
yeah.
you
We
do it.
definitely negotiate with
you
terrorists.
do, and there is screen
yeah,
time becomes
yeah.
your friend.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because you have to find what is the preferred activity
Right.
for kids. So it's just like, and then all behavior comes from different things. So you got to figure out like why is this behavior happening? And
Yeah, it's every day, is it? And every kid is different, so
Yeah.
there is no handbook.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you guys like with your calendar? Do you get your date night in there? Like, are you like, we gotta have
So,
intimacy? We can't go.
we
you
have.
know?
I mean, yeah, our daughter sleeps in her own room now, but now she's like being a
Oh.
hater, where she's like waking up in the middle of the night screaming. But yeah, we you know, if it's been a while,
Yeah.
we'll be like, all right, we gotta go do something. So like a couple weeks ago, we had like a couples movie night with her sister and her.
But couples that you were friends with too.
Well, her
That's weird.
sister and her
Oh,
sister's
okay.
fiance, and then her cousin and.
Good. So you didn't feel like the
yeah,
awkward
I didn't feel
hour.
like
You're
the
like,
awkward
I
hour.
didn't want to see this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. We went to go see a movie, and then
Okay.
we went to go see Hootie and the Blowfish.
Oh, nice.
Went to a concert. Yeah, so there's days that we're like, hey, we need a night out, but you know, childcare and like
Yeah.
everything just gets expensive when they have a kid because you got to find someone that trusts to
Yeah,
watch
the
the
babysitter.
kid.
Yeah.
And her mom is around, but our daughter is so hectic right now. Like, and I'm like, I don't want to like. I feel bad because like if I leave her with Grammy and she's acting out, I'd be like, I'm sorry, Grammy. Like,
I know you're like, we're having a bad day.
yeah, I know,
Go.
yeah.
You know what? That's what grandmas are for and stuff. You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, you just have to find a balance because, you know, my parents parented me different than her parents parent her. So now we got to figure out how we were going to parent, you know, my daughter. So,
Yeah.
you know.
And what's it like being married to somebody more popular? I'm fascinated.
Oh, it's
that you
fine.
said,
It's fine.
I've only dated less popular people.
Yeah. Well, when I said like,
I love it though. It was by coincidence.
Just by
It wasn't
proxy.
because you wanted to.
no,
feel-
it was just like the,
Okay,
yeah.
you didn't-
I was always like around and, no, it's fine. It's good. We're good. We have a good balance. And, you know, like I said, we have our own issues or whatever, but like we support each other and like if whatever needs to happen, we make it happen. So, you know, oh, you got to go to New York for 3 days. Oh, we'll figure it out. We'll make it happen.
What's
So.
the biggest challenge you think? I wouldn't know. I've never been married, so I turn to people like you.
I mean, the
and you
biggest
seem like you're
challenge
on
is
top of
like,
it.
I don't know. The biggest challenge is not letting things build up, and just speaking your mind and communicating to each other. That's the biggest challenge, because like it's easy to just like I don't want to talk. I don't want
And
to.
then it just comes out and
Yeah.
explode.
Yeah, and it's really every day, like day by day, like day by day. And my parents were married for like 40 years, but there was a lot of issues in that 40 years. And so you see what not to do
Yeah.
when you have your parents and there's some toxic stuff in there. So like
And you so desperately want to keep it away
yeah,
from
and
your own
I
kid.
don't want to do that. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I won't do those things, that whatever. And then you also have to take in consideration like your partner's stuff that they had to deal with their
Right.
parents.
That's the hardest
And
part.
you
is
don't want to
merging two
become
lives.
you don't want to become that.
Then
know?
you're both just having
Yeah,
so
yeah,
many
yeah,
things.
yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
we can't do this. We can't do this.
Yeah. So I mean, communication is key, and I know that seems very cliche, but and then finding time to do stuff together, but also finding time to do stuff alone. I
Well,
think-
that's where I'm like, I'm hoping you guys do that. It sounds like
Yeah.
you make the effort.
Yeah, and I tell her too, like, yo, like if I'm here, like go out with your friends, like go get drunk with your friends, go out. I've never been.
Don't smoke cigarettes.
No,
It's
don't
still a
smoke
deal
cigarettes.
breaker. Okay, good. You
Don't
tell
smoke
her what to
cigarettes.
do.
Yeah, don't smoke.
Okay. She can drink. We know. I'm with you. Sober people, like what? you know?
I can't. Yeah, I couldn't be with a sober person.
Yeah.
I know, because I like to have too much fun.
Yeah, even if they don't mind that you do it.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, let's have a drink.
Like,
Yeah,
but I don't
you know,
care
like-
you drink, and you're like, I know, but
I care that you don't drink. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
for not judging me,
yeah.
but I'm gonna judge you.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't date a sober person, but yeah, I mean that's the thing, like finding avenues that you guys do together and having having friends, having hobbies. I think a lot of times, there's one person that has hobbies and does stuff.
Of
and then
course.
I was like, your husband or your wife or your significant other can't be your hobby.
Yes, and you can't. To me, everybody says couples have to do everything together.
No.
I think it's beautiful when they have their own things.
Yes.
I mean, like, I think it's important for you to check out and go do
I
it.
know some
things
people that they
together.
have to do
Everything.
everything together.
Yeah,
and
what is that?
And I was like, yo, why are they always like they can't do nothing
No,
together?
yeah.
Like, or the husband follows behind the wife
No.
like a puppy dog, and I'm like, dude,
It's healthy.
and I get so frustrated. I'm like, I can't, and then I do not do a good job of wearing the mask sometimes, where I just be like, ugh, like
Yeah,
it
but
gets
you'll
so,
do it.
yeah, dude, I get so frustrated when I'm around people that just like,
No,
I'm like,
I
dude,
know.
like
You
you
just
don't have
set an example.
you don't have
know?
to do everything together.
Oh yeah, I will never do jujitsu.
Mm.
My boyfriend's going to try to force it, and I said, okay, you want me to do jujitsu? You got to do Barry's boot camp, and he's like, forget it, we're good. So
Yeah.
what's next with comedy with you? What's going
For
on?
me,
Your shows coming up, or you got
I have a show that I host at the Improv every week called
Oh.
Late for Work. Yeah,
I'm gonna be there tonight.
Yeah,
Awesome. Okay, okay.
So I'm there every Sunday, and yeah, I mean, I have a podcast that I host with Brittany Schmidt.
You're a great guest. You
Yeah,
should
thank
be a
you,
host.
thank you. Yeah,
You're
I
awesome.
have.
What's
I have,
it called?
It's called Scumbags of History. It's available on Apple Podcasts.
So cool. Okay.
Spotify, wherever. Check out season 1. We just got a season 2.
Congrats.
So yeah, we pick a historical figure and we tell you why they were
a scumbag?
Yeah.
You can, there's current figures too.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
You'll have mini seasons.
I know.
Okay.
I don't doubt that.
And
But,
what's your IG? How can people?
oh yeah, you can find me
follow
at
you?
Mateen Stewart. I'm Mateen Stewart everywhere. I am the only Mateen Stewart in the world. I have that distinction. And also, if you want to get married, if you need a DJ or MC, Married by Mateen is my.
Or if you don't want to get married,
Yeah.
but you have to.
Yeah. Or if you need some help finding a partner, or if you need some help with your dating profiles,
Yeah.
men specifically that need help with their dating
Yeah.
profiles.
You do that too?
Yeah, I try.
Sweet. I do that too.
I
That's
try to
one of
help
my services.
some of my friends. I want to get into that world, but like a lot of women that I talk to, there are always the issues with the men, and like men don't know how to
Yeah.
set up dates anymore. Men don't know how to communicate. They don't. Their profiles are just whack. And I was pretty good on there.
That's great.
But
This is something you could do for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And but I'm also 6'3", so that helps. So,
Anybody can be
yeah,
6'3"
yeah,
on
yeah,
an app,
exactly.
right?
I
And
know.
when we're laying down,
I know.
are we all the same
Yeah.
height when we're
Yeah,
horizontal?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I've had some stories.
Yeah.
I've had some stories where women got mad at me because they didn't represent themselves.
Oh man,
But,
we
yeah.
we have to have you back.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
we're
a
gonna
lot of
have you
stories,
back. I
but-
thought you were amazing.
Yeah, thank you. This is really good. I like to talk about love. I think love is something that we all experience it, and it's
we want it. I think
Yeah.
it's something we all have.
and
in
love
common.
is also not monolithic, and there's so many different
Yeah.
ways to love and people to love and things to love, and it's something that we all will experience in life
Yeah.
in some form or another. So
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Oh, thank you for
Mateen.
having me. I
Great
appreciate
to have
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening or watching the show. If you'd like to be featured on a new episode of the podcast, you can send us an email, loveunleashed@jltv.tv. Or you can just shoot me a message on Instagram. It's at loveunleashed_Erin Davis.